this is something that we listen repeatedly or read repeatedly on X, as Edu was saying. Like these AI tools are getting too so smart, they can think through problems just like experienced developers. What would you say about that? Maybe you, Ezequiel, like you were talking about it. Is it really that intelligent? Can we use it as a similar, like is an experienced developer the same as this AI customized, or I don't know, like very intelligent AI? What would you think in that regard?
Yeah, I mean, the term of intelligence is kind of weird and can bring some confusions, but we have to
Mm,
remember that AI is just like a machine that understand patterns and find correlation between what you say and what it should say at next token. Yeah, it's not really intelligent. It's just
mm,
like a machine that understand patterns and follow that to bring you information from a data set training. So yeah, it's not a tool that can make you take a decision. It can help you to have, I don't know, find three or four kind ways to do that in ways to break down the problem, but it doesn't can think for you. You have to still use your
mhm,
brain, yeah. And as you say, it's like a boost. If you
mm,
have the talent, if you know what are you doing, the AI will boost your performance, boost what you can bring to the business. Yeah, but no, it's not an intelligent. It's not a self work stuff. Yeah.
would you add something, Edu?
Yeah, for sure. On that regard, I think it's as Ezekiel mentioned, they like it doesn't think. I would say, in a similar way like a human. Of course, it's a bunch of uh, simulating like neural connections, and you train that. But for me, it's more like you can get into things like maybe it's more like a gambling thing. You
Mm,
can try to make with LLMs. It's they usually like they're probabilistic, non-deterministic,
mm,
right? So as a user, for example, will have like this phenomenon that was on a paper that I read recently. It's related that the feeling of using LLMs and expecting an output from them, it's super similar to gambling because sometimes you can get exactly what you expect. And then you have this bias of, yeah, LLMs will work all the time this way and will often suffice to accomplish a lot of tasks. But some other times, well, in my case, for example, my first experiences was like I didn't get something completely useful from them, and that's why I like a little bit not as motivated, for example, to include it in my workflows as Ezekiel, I would say, and also people get kind of addicted to that feeling, like if I try one more time, maybe I will get something else, right? So that's why I usually say like I don't think that LLMs are able to think like a human, for example. They understand patterns and they can uh, probabilistically like predict the next token to respond to something, and that correlates and on a bigger picture, well, makes sense to us like, hey, this thing answered me because I asked X and responded Y, but
yeah.
it's usually non-deterministic. So yeah, I will add to no, they don't think. Yeah.
No, yeah, and that's an interesting point because it actually goes into how a human mind actually thinks, no? Because we could think that we are actually doing our work in a faster way or in a better way, but maybe it's only this gambling mentality, like these slot machines that you're expecting the result, and instead of doing the actual work, you spend your time waiting for that result
Wait.
that you got the first time, and it can maybe trick your mind, no? And it can maybe because of your own experience make you think that you are being efficient, but maybe you are just tricking yourself, or like, yeah, like having this gambling mentality. On that note, I wanted to ask you another question. Like, when is pattern matching sufficient versus when do you do when you need actual reasoning? Like, how can you differentiate, like, for example, these use cases that Ezekiel was talking about in the front end with components and things that are more like pattern wise, and these other actual reasoning that maybe in your case, Edu, it has more variables. It's not like this pattern recognition doesn't really help you. Like, how can people differentiate when it's actual, do you need actual thinking versus maybe the help from the AI?
I can add a little bit on that. I think it's, for example, if you can put it on a document or in a, I don't know, you have a resource, a database resource on how to, for example, and this is me speaking as a backend, so correct me, Ezequiel, but if you have like a component design system, that's something that you can, as a developer, you reuse, right? And there's a set of rules already defined, so that may be something that an LLM can ingest, right? Those rules and provide you like some sort of answer. But when you need actual reasoning is, for example, you have like this issue or this new challenge on your system, right? And you need to find a way to solve it. And that's like the part that still I haven't been able to make an LLM to do. It's like,
Mm,
give me like the answer, the proper answer to solve this specific issue that involves like um, I don't know, changing a lot of stuff in your system instead of just a single component or a single piece. That's something that might help. That's what I use it as an autocomplete instead, more than pr- telling them a big problem because I don't know. I know there are other models that are like super specialized to create PRDs, right? To write like the specification for your project. Maybe that's something that also that LLMs can help. But I don't know. I will stop there. I want to hear what Ezequiel has to to bring.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Coming from your point of system designs, in Octahedroid, we are doing a bunch of internal trainings for that. Okay, the gambling stuff is it's true, but for me, I love the parallelism with poker. That is an actual sport that always have the same people playing in a gambling game. You know, it's like kind of weird. One person can't have always a luckily game, you know, it's impossible. But there are strategies to fight against that non-determinist answers from the LLMs. And the system defense are one of them. If you have a way to do, I don't know, a page view or something like that, you can tell the LLM, hey, remember these patterns in your context to answer our question.
mm.
And that we are doing in Octahedroid, are we learning in that internal trainings for use the LLM as a tool that can let us to reuse, because we have the knowledge of how to do the things and we want a way to do it faster. And I guess that's where pattern matching works because we bring all our knowledge, all of that conversation with the dean to how to deal with some problems and make it available for the LLM. So I
Yeah.
guess that's where you can use that pattern matching